Hi folks, welcome to the latest MWIS Planning Outlook, this updated on Tuesday evening the 2nd of November. We've got chilly air coming down from the north through the middle of this week. We'll turn things towards a less cold westerly pattern off the Atlantic later in the week, and that once again will drag in some dampness and some moisture from the Atlantic, mostly in the form of low cloud and some drizzly rain, nowhere near as wet as we've seen at the end of October, but once again it will be a rather windy story heading into the weekend. Let's start off with a look at freezing level, and through Wednesday daytime we'll be sub-zero above around 800 or 900 metres across much of the Scottish Highlands, and the highest tops in England and Wales hovering close to freezing point as well. Overnight Wednesday into Thursday, frost will form in many sheltered valleys and glens across the country, and the freezing level through Thursday daytime unlikely to get much above 800 metres for many parts of Britain. Might be a touch lower than that in parts of the Highlands. However, as we go late in the day on Thursday, as a warm front comes in from the west, temperatures will rise across Scotland, and we'll see values go above freezing heading onwards into the night through into Friday. Friday then is a milder day across the country as westerly air is moving in. Quite a change of air mass then, becoming rather damp. Maybe just dipping back to around 1400 metres later on Friday across Scotland, but on balance it's a generally mild story heading through into early Saturday. As a cold front comes back southwards during Saturday, temperatures may well dip back to freezing point across Scotland from the north to around 1200 metres, perhaps a touch lower in more northern regions, and that cooler air will stay around overnight into Sunday, so Sunday daytime hovering close to freezing point on the highest Scottish Munros. Heading onwards into next week, it's likely to be only those higher Munros that are close to freezing, and a lot of the time we may well be in milder air coming back in from the Atlantic. The short-term detail looking like this. This is Wednesday's chart. That northerly airflow is in charge. Some showers coming down from the north. Those will be of some sleet and some snow and some hail mixed in at times, most frequent across the northern mountains in Scotland, where the hills will be shrouded in cloud much of the day. Sunnier conditions though further southwards across the Highlands, with mainly dry conditions here. Also mainly dry down the spine of the Pennines. One or two showers may just be around for a time as a weak front drifts southwards, and some showers grazing Wales in the west as well. One or two coming in to the North Wales coast too at times through the day. Feeling very chilly then in the wind, as we've seen those temperatures just below freezing point across the higher mountains. This is how things look in sequence Wednesday through the days ahead, and we've got those showers then drifting down from the north through the day on Wednesday. Some breaks in the clouds, some sunshine around, with excellent visibility in place with that northerly air mass coming down across Britain. Breaks in the cloud will give that risk of frost then overnight into Thursday. A few residual showers left around some coastal districts, but many dying out, and it's dry as we start Thursday. We do have a warm front then approaching, as we mentioned, from the west on Thursday daytime, cloud thickening and some drizzly rain coming on to west and northwest Scotland later on in the day. And it's that drizzly, damp air that then comes in and filling in with cloud as we head through into Friday. The wettest, dampest conditions focused on western Scotland, drizzly with low cloud across many western hills in England and Wales. This is how things look on those synoptic charts then. That is the frontal system coming in from the northwest. We still have that chilly air coming around from the north through the daytime. A ridge of high pressure is nearby, so Thursday really is a fairly benign day for many places. Some sunshine around, cloud breaks to many higher tops, just that deterioration in conditions across northwest Scotland with drizzly rain moving in. Now that murky, damper air is wafted all the way across the country by Friday, so a lot of cloud cover for most places. Pretty wet, drizzly rain much of the day for west and northwest Scotland. Very small amounts in total elsewhere, but enough to be a nuisance on more western hills. Best of any, higher cloud breaks towards more eastern regions. Generally dry for the Cairngorms, maybe spits and spots just in the wind now and again, and generally dry for a good part of the Pennines and the Peak District. The breeze will be stronger for many places compared to recent days, though, at around 30 miles per hour on higher tops, and quite gusty in places through passes and some eastern slopes through the day. It's a windy story that takes us into the weekend. Low pressure passing to the north of us. The isobars close together then. Widespread gales likely across many hills and mountains, I'm afraid. Severe in places across the higher tops and very gusty to some lower levels at times. Now fronts trailing their way through will produce a lot of low cloud and rain and drizzle. The most constant, steadier falls of rain across western Scotland, and that steadier rain turning up increasingly as the day goes on for the Lake District and West Wales as well, as that cold front begins to sink its way southwards. Now, total rainfall looking nothing like what we saw during last week. It's not as powerful a weather system coming through, but nevertheless, those western mountains look in for a rather wet day and unpleasant conditions. Less rain toward the east and less rain for a good part of Wales and the Peak District, but still a rather windy story and a lot of cloud cover across the hills. We may just see a lifting of cloud base across Scotland from the northwest as that cold front begins to clear. That moves all the way southwards across Britain through into Sunday, so a brighter story is likely for Sunday daytime. Still rather windy and quite cool for Sunday as the flow turns to the northwest. Some showery rain and some sleet and snow on the higher tops in Scotland to be expected, most frequent on windward coasts in the northwest, but some brighter spells will be likely through the day on Sunday for many places. Expect a scattering of showers here and there, but on balance, it's the better of the 2 days, but expect it to be still rather blustery across many of the higher mountains. So as we step into early next week, that low pressure system passing to the north will go off into Scandinavia by Monday. Pressure begins to build from the south, and that will be a common theme for the week ahead. We'll tend to see the airflows coming around from the southwest, so it looks a fairly mild story for next week. Many southern regions, England and Wales, seeing often dry conditions, some mist and fog in the mornings, low cloud occasionally shrouding western hills. Scotland seeing trailing weather fronts coming through, mostly weak features, but day on day quite frequently bringing some rainfall to west and northwest Scotland. So although not big falls of rain, frequently wet across the western regions in the Highlands. Very little rainfall elsewhere through the week as high pressure keeps having a go at building in across the country. So a relatively quiet week. We can't say it's settled for all, because if you're looking at west and northwest Scotland, it could be a rather poor one, but typically not severe conditions. Many places then getting away with some decent days at least. Keep up to date, as always, with your local forecast for your area every day on our website. That is your planning outlook for today. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.